Convention. Joining us now, the mayor of the hub city of Hattiesburg, Mayor Toby Barker. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on, Mayor.
Glad to be here again.
So you are the incoming president, is that right, of the Mississippi Municipal League?
As of Wednesday, I will ascend the throne.
You sure you want that, huh?
Well, I kind of decided 2 years ago when I ran for second vice president, so it's been the most anticlimactic climb through the ranks.
Well, it looks like we got great attendance as always at the event. Beautiful weather here as well. Great venue for an event like this as well. And what do you expect to get out of a conference like this? What are the takeaways that the attendees typically talk about, Mayor?
Well, they're always the classes you go to. Like, we've got a couple classes that folks from Hattiesburg are teaching this afternoon, one on communications, one on planning.
Yeah.
With the changes in a lot of the federal grant programs and the addition of several new grants at the state and federal level, there's opportunities for cities to learn about that. But I think the bigger value for us comes through the collaborating with other mayors.
Sure.
Mayor Tannehill in Oxford, Mayor Spruill in Starkville, Mayor Hughes in Gulfport, Mayor Gillich, the conversations and the like issues that we deal with, and then figuring out what each other or kind of how they're addressing a challenge like that.
You know, even in business, events like this, the primary takeaway I always have is just the networking with people that you find out they're dealing with the same problems you are no matter where they are, and you learn things about how they approach those, and you have an idea exchange, if you will, and try to just share best practices. This is what works for me, this is what doesn't, and sometimes you will make decisions based on that.
Well, those conversations also lead to what do we need to go to Jackson with next year in terms of an agenda. And so there's really value all the way around in bringing together 300 towns and cities and villages to come up with kind of what do cities need, what do all of us need going into the session next year. Yeah, speaking of which, we've been talking about the possible increase of the sales tax diversion. Last time you and I visited at the Armed Forces Museum, you shared your concerns about the increase of the PERS contribution rate and the financial burden that might put on the city. That's scheduled to go into effect a year and a week from now, not too far out, a 5% increase. Of course, it would be applied to the city's payroll. Well, what do you think about the possibility of petitioning and working with the legislature to increase the sales tax diversion? Well, it certainly would be helpful. If we went from 18.5% to 20%, that would help offset a good bit of that. But I think the broader issue of PERS in general has to be dealt with. No doubt. And a 5% increase in the percentage, but what that means is a 28% increase in our retirement cost. For the city of Hattiesburg, that's $1.5 million with my existing payroll. And if you ask any city here, any county, any school district, they're all facing the same thing. And delaying it helped us, yes, but we're still going to have to make budget decisions this September because our budgets go from October to September, and so even if it takes effect July 1st of next year, we're going to have to make decisions on that. Now, we've heard there's a conversation about possibly delaying that and spreading that over a few years. Heard that too, yeah. And that's great, but it still doesn't address the fundamental issues that we have there. Structural problem with PERS too. And a long-term solution means everybody has to participate in the pain a little bit and how we move forward. And I think that in the first year of a new term, I believe we'll have a willing legislature to at least have those conversations, whereas in previous years maybe there wasn't that willingness before. It's not a politically popular subject, shall we say, because unfortunately, as you say, everybody's got to sort of participate in the pain. There's really no easy way out. I mean, there's no magic wand you can wave here and just say, okay, right, we're gonna right the ship and solidify the financial condition of PERS. Something's got to change. It's the same thing with the federal deficit. I mean, same deal. We've got to have people who are willing to have adult conversations and make decisions. And we did this back in 2009, 2010 when Governor Barber was there. We were in a really bad recession. PERS was not doing well, and we made some difficult votes, whether it was increasing the vesting period, whether it was increasing the total retirement time to 30 years, whether it was increasing the employee contribution as well as the employer contribution, which we haven't had that discussion since. All of those things are part of the equation, and we just have to have leaders willing to be honest with people because we all want PERS to continue. We have family. We're in the system as well, but it needs to be there long term. And when you have so many retirees and fewer state employees paid into the system, that creates an imbalance, and it's only getting worse. We're kind of limited on time. Are you going to make this a priority in the next legislative session to really speak to state leaders about this? We are, and there are a lot of topics we have to talk about, but making sure that local governments and local school districts are not stuck with a whole tab in how we go forward with PERS is probably number one issue for us. And because if it's spread over 3 years this time, then in a decade we'll be talking about another 3 or 4% increase, and it's totally out of whack right now.
Yeah, it's not a permanent solution to the structural problems certainly within the program. The same is true at the federal level, as you know, with Social Security and Medicare. We just keep punting that down the road as well. Nobody wants to have those hard conversations.
And I'll say that the legislature, led by Governor Hosemann and Speaker Gunn, we've had really good sessions the last 2 years.
Yeah.
In terms of the infrastructure money, we've never had leaders come in and want to invest in cities like they are right now, in generational projects.
Yeah.
But now it's time to have the conversation about the thing that we're all dealing with, and that's the retirement system.
Mayor, thanks for coming on, and congratulations, I think, of your ascending to the role of president of the Mississippi Municipal League. I'm sure you'll represent your members well in that regard, and I know we'll be talking some more. Thanks for coming on, Mayor.
Glad to be
Appreciate
here.
it. Yep. Mayor Toby Barker of Hattiesburg has been our guest. We're stepping aside for a break. It's top of the hour. That means Fox News, SuperTalk News.